going on? It be me, J.Dunn. And it be the wonderful L Word panel. We came here to discuss a couple of things. And I would stall to let people get up in here, but y'all get up in here if you can. I don't care how you get here, but get here if you can. Y'all, so first off, I'm going to introduce the first lady of the L Word panel, BB Nice.
What's going on, peoples?
Okay, and then we got my co-host, QI Critical Thinking.
QI Critical Thinking in the building. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Correct. And even though DC Kool-Aid is not here, DC Kool-Aid is working tonight, but we still gonna carry on either way. But DC Kool-Aid is gonna do her music live or whatever. So check that out later on if you're up wondering in the wee hours of the night. But either way, let's get into it because I made my video and I talked about the letters that were presented on the gentleman's panel last night representing the gay community, the LGBTQ of the lesbian community, of the gay community, I should say. But either way, we are all here to share our points of view. Some people have different points of views, but either way, we want to give y'all a lesbian point of view. So without further ado, either one of y'all take the floor. I don't care who does it.
Well, I guess I'll start. So, I didn't really get a chance to watch the entire gentleman panel. What I did watch was very interesting. There were some things that I didn't know about the gay men, and I'm pretty sure there are things that gay men don't know about lesbians. So, I wanted to kind of give you a better point of view of the lesbians, how lesbians work, the different, how we project ourselves, the way we are in relationships, how we feel like others accept us or don't accept us. I do find that in this sector, I find that women are drawn more to the gay men. And I find that interesting. And I go from straight women, do they think that just because we're lesbians, we're going to be trying to like come at them or, trying to get their little cookies or something like that? Like, are they intimidated? Do they feel like they're uncomfortable around us and more comfortable around gay men? I wanted to know that because, they're drawn to them. Not saying nothing's wrong with that, but I was curious to find that out. I wanted to know that. That was one of my questions, women, concerning lesbian women. And I wanted to know, do they know the difference between a stud, a butch, and a banshee cunt, and a femme? Like, we have different terms. Yeah, we got different terms. And
I know we do.
They know that.
Yeah. And I agree with the different terms, and I was up in the chat for the gentleman's panel trying to enlighten people about the difference of the lingo. Even though we are part of the same family, the same community, the lingo is different, but some of the definitions are the same, believe it or not. It just applies to a man or it applies to a woman.
Okay, so let me ask you first. What do you think a stud is, in your opinion?
In my opinion, a stud is the more masculine woman within the relationship, but more masculine as in the protector, as in most times the giver, as in the person who plays the role, I guess, so to speak, of a man. Which I even hate to use that terminology, but if we got to, then we got to. They are the ones who protect, who typically, wear the pants, so to speak. Well, QI is making little faces and stuff. QI, you disagree. What you think?
Well, let me say this. Okay, like from a
the sound is
traditional
not that good.
standpoint.
I can't really.
You can't.
You can't hear who?
You, J.Dunn, when you're talking, like, does it sound like an echo when I'm talking?
Not to me.
Of you, I
Now
can
I
hear
can
both
hear
of you.
you.
DC's in the chat. She might want the link.
Okay. DC,
Okay.
you want the link? Oh, she said she driving though, so maybe not.
Okay.
But
Uh,
can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear both of y'all.
Okay.
Okay, so let's she gonna go and come back. Okay, let me go ahead and say like for me, when it my definition of a stud would be androgynous. And what I mean by androgynous is like a stud, you know, generally characterized by both qualities, feminine and masculine, and it could be like of different variations as well.
I
Like
can't hear.
you still can't hear. It could be a you check your
I'm
volume.
like, uh,
Check your volume.
how about now?
I
We
can
can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What about me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. We good. Okay, let's go
Okay.
on.
Androgynous. I think that when see, I don't like when they say that you know we take on the role of a man because I think that brings in confusion. Because like most, like I'm not gonna say all studs because we're different for one thing. We're all individual. Everybody has their individual personalities, but when not all studs want to be a man. Like I'm gonna do a series on toxic masculinity versus masculinity, and I'm gonna explain. But and a lot of times, some because like a lot of times when we come into this lifestyle, we don't know how to like it took me a minute to learn how to be myself, to just be myself. You know, I thought I had to be this or that. I was trying to fit into the box. And I think that, you know, when they say, okay, we're the man or this or that, they're putting us into this box. But you know, generally we're the ones that have both energies, both characteristics, masculine and feminine. But when it comes down to like a relationship, just like these days, and even in a heterosexual relationship, a lot of people do 50-50. Or, you know, like it's like, you know, whomsoever. So like I think that a lot of times when they try to say we fit the identity of a man, they're looking at that old fashioned traditional sense of you know of a relationship versus looking at you know like the balance, you know, like whoever's best for the characteristic does the job.
Well, and I mean, I could agree with that, but when I say masculine, I don't mean somebody trying to be the man. Because in all actuality, there are lesbian relationships who have similar looking people in the relationship. There are stud for stud, but either way, one of the studs is going to be the more masculine. One of the studs is going to be more protective of the other. There are film for film, one of the films is going to be the more masculine, so to speak, for a film. One of the films is going to be the protector. And so that's what I'm really speaking on when I say that. Not saying anybody wants to be a man, because I don't want to be a man, never have wanted to be a man. But I do believe that whether you have a film and the stud together and the stud is the protector, the stud thinks that she is supposed to protect and provide or whatever else. And then it could be an equal partnership, which is what it is typically now today. Equal partnership. Nobody is doing more than the next. However, we do still have in our community studs who go for studs, films who go for films, and either way, somebody is more protective than the other.
Okay. I mean, I agree with that. Um, I agree with that. The way I say like a stud to me is honestly it's the same as a butch but older. Older women call themselves studs, like, you know, 50s and up and all that stuff. That's how I equate a stud. But that's
Mhm.
still the same role. A butch, same thing, but just younger. a butchy a butch cunt to me is one who gets they wear nails but act like a dude. That's those are just sayings though.
Mm-hmm.
But look, a lipstick, that's what we call, well, we call lipsticks. See, it's different. I think it's different too, depending on what regional, geographical region you're in. Because just like
Okay.
I heard
Yeah.
DC and Lisa, they were calling studs doms.
Oh
Dominant.
yeah, the dominant party, the dominant partner in the
Doms.
relationship.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
dom.
Dominant. Okay,
And
doms. Okay. Okay.
lipstick, I think lipsticks is pretty general. Lipsticks are, like you bisexual, what else would you say? Lips, I don't know. Lipstick is sort of crazy to me.
No,
Uh
I think that lipsticks are simply women who could pass as straight but are really gay women. To,
Nah,
Mm.
well, a film, to me, films can pass as straight, but they're gay women.
well, I think that lipstick and femme are synonymous. I honestly think that it's the same name. Well, it's different names for the same type of woman.
See, lipstick is sort of derogatory too. Well, not I ain't gonna say derogatory. Lipsticks are generally women that are married and on the DL. It's just that we have our own name for DL people.
Oh, look at
DL.
that. I didn't even know that.
Lipsticks are that. And then like a lot of people don't know, dyke is a derogatory statement for, like a tomboyish type, or like that you would consider androgynous or stud that still gets down with men. Okay.
Mm.
That's why I hate
Right.
that term dyke. Okay. And then what else do we have? We have the aggressive femme. An aggressive femme is, someone who, participates as well as, it's like it's more of a bedroom type of term where, they're the feminine looking, but like in the bedroom, it's like for men they would call it versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have the studs, and which I like to say androgynous. And and see, a lot of people think that studs in the bedroom don't receive, but some studs, it depends on preference, and then it depends on who you're with as well. Because I mean, I've dated aggressive femmes, and some of them, and then I've dated straight femmes, and they don't, so it's like it depends on who you're with, in my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
I just want to piggyback, and I'm gonna let you speak, Vicky. I want to piggyback on what I said. Okay, so like just like what the panel was talking about, power tops and power bottoms, that exists in the lesbian community. A power top in the gay men community is considered a touch me not stud.
Okay.
A,
Yep.
a power bottom in the lesbian community is considered a
A
pillow
film.
princess. No, a pillow princess. There is actually terminology. A pillow
Pillow
princess.
princess.
Yes.
I would say a film, because like a lot of
I
films
say
are
film
supposed to
too.
be touch me
A
not.
pillow princess is a
I'm,
film.
I'm not.
A pillow princess is a film, but she just prefers to lay on the pillow.
See, and
Yeah,
this
but
is
a
funny
graphic
because
film,
it's the same definition, it's just different terminology
yeah,
depending
different
on your area,
terminology.
where you
Right.
live at.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Just
okay,
like
so I get
aggressive
it. I
film.
get it. I get it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that because the chat was asking last night, power bottom, that must be something derogatory, it must be negative. But a lot of people who have been labeled as a pillow princess think that it's negative because basically it's like you lazy in the bedroom, so to speak. That's what some
Right.
people put it out there, but then some people just are not comfortable with trying to please anybody if they don't know how.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. And you know what else I heard is you know what I do realize, that it's more comfortable for women to be labeled as bisexual than men. I believe that because uh, men think it's cool for a woman to say they're bisexual, because straight men
Mhm.
are thinking in the terms of, oh shit, I can have two women. They're thinking of it, I can, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay for a woman to be bisexual, but for a man to be bisexual, like women can't buy that. Like, and it is possible. The difference to me between, you can tell when a man is bisexual because they actually look at women. They actually can say, damn, that woman, she fine. She bad as hell. I do X, Y, Z to that woman. Versus a man that is not bisexual that don't even know how to approach a woman. You can't say you bisexual and you don't even know how to approach a woman. Or when you're talking about women, it's so, you can tell, like, I can't explain it. I heard it, but I can't really explain it without bashing somebody. But you can tell when a man is straight gay and versus bisexual.
I mean, I can agree with that. One other point that I made, and I guess we really don't have any type of chronological order that we going in. We just speaking how we feel and speaking on what we remember. My thing is, I remember in the panel, I can't remember which one of the gentlemen said it, but he said how women won't date a gay man, or women won't date a bisexual man. Some of them are afraid to date a bisexual man. And it brought me to one thing that I put in the chat, and I think QI saw it because she was in there as well. But one thing that it brought me to was like, okay, women will notice a man is bisexual, and subconsciously they will feel like that man is off limits. However, men will see a woman who is visibly masculine, visibly lesbian, but they will still try to come onto the woman.
Wait, I mean, I got you, but I'm thinking about something though. That's not correct. Let me tell you why. And you know it's not correct because you, like you just said earlier with the question, because I wrote it down because I wanna play with that for a minute.
Okay.
It's like, why are straight women attracted to gay men? Okay, so when it comes down to like basically like when it comes down to women, I think a lot of women do. I think a lot of women are do accept bisexual men because just like that's one of the reasons why a lot of straight women are attracted to bisexual men because just like a lot of times with men, they think that they can change us. And a lot of, women think that they can change a man. So I think it's really equal. I mean, at the end of the day, really, I think it's more on, like it's more accepting, with men than it is like a lot of times, like with, women. Because there are very few men that, might be that openly sexual to want, because like with us, it's sexual, not dating. It's sexual. They want they want a threesome. They're not looking at
Right.
they're not looking at marriage or dating. They
But with
want
the
to.
men, but QI, with the men, like you just said, women can come on to a bisexual man. They can tell you, they can literally say, damn, he's fine. Now, I would to them. But men, a true bisexual man, not someone who is just doing it for the, just for the look of it. Can a man do that to a woman is what I'm trying to say. Like, if a man is truly bisexual, then it'll be easier. I mean, it shouldn't be as hard to be attracted to a woman just as well. You can
Okay,
tell
when you say
Dane the bisexual
attracted.
wanna would take it to the next level. Like, I mean, I'm not just saying, oh, you're a pretty girl. I'm talking about, damn, you attracted, like you turning me on.
Well, I'm like, okay, when you say, I think I don't know if I'm understanding your question correctly, but I think, because I'm gonna be honest with you, look around YouTube. Just like look around YouTube and with your question, it's like a lot of women think that when you say bisexual, they think that they have hope. And women look at marriage and women look at commitment and women look at relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But on the flip side, men are more on the sexual tip. And so when they're looking at women, women who are bisexual, they're looking at, let me hit it and quit it.
My point
I was
was,
honestly talking about the difference between a bisexual woman and a bisexual man. If a man is truly bisexual, they are attracted to both sexes.
Oh,
They
okay. See,
are
I didn't
literally
ask that
attracted
question. Yeah.
to both sexes if they are bisexual. If they're not, they're not. And you can tell the difference.
You're
That's what I
straight
was
gay.
saying. Like, you
You're
can
straight. Yeah,
tell
you're
the
straight.
difference.
Yeah, you straight
Yeah,
gay.
and
No,
I mean,
yeah.
I agree with that, but the point that I was making is that straight women sometimes will steer clear of a bisexual man, and it's probably because of different stereotypes. Maybe he is going to cheat on her. Maybe he has, some type of situation going on because of his lifestyle. There are so many different assumptions that they go through. Straight women do, and I'm speaking just based on my own experience because I have gay men in my family who faked the funk all through high school and had women trying to date them until they actually came out. And they came out and said that they are bisexual. And once they said that they were bisexual, there was some type of stigma that came with it because these women didn't feel confident or comfortable in knowing that these men were still attracted to other men. And what I'm saying is, just like women seem to respect that boundary, even if it's maybe a stigma and not necessarily a respect, but it might be even a disrespect. But I just don't understand why when men can visibly see that a woman is a lesbian, a masculine lesbian, why they can't just respect the boundary as well. That's
got
all I was getting to.
Got you. Let me go back to what you just said though. But like,
Mhm.
okay, like like a lot, believe it. See the problem. I think when with the like when a man comes out later. See the problem if a woman
Hey, TC.
if a man tells a woman up front that he's bisexual, I think that's different. But then if you get married or you're in a relationship and then later on down and have kids and all this stuff, and then later on down the line, a person tells you that they're bisexual, then like of course they're gonna be upset because that's like deceit. That's deception. But if they tell them up front, because like look around, a lot of women, like I see a lot of women that gravitate towards bisexual men because they think they have a chance. And then let's be honest here. There are a lot of bisexual men. When you look at like, and I don't mean no harm, and a lot of men go to jail, like when men go to jail or prison. 9 times when they come out, they're going to be bisexual. I'm not saying all, but 9 times out of 10, when they come out, they're going to be bisexual. And then let's be honest. When we're looking at church, like a lot of times there are a lot of bisexual people in the church, including sometimes the pastors and stuff like that, who don't
That is
want to.
one of the greatest. That is one of the greatest mysteries to me, church, because church preaches all day, all night that you're not supposed to be gay and you are not supposed to be bisexual. You're just not supposed to do it. And then behind closed doors, most of these pastors experience and know what their sexuality is behind closed doors. They sleep with men. I don't understand how they're preaching this stuff, but don't
Little
believe it
girls,
themselves. It's truly. Yeah, like
little
it's
girls.
crazy. Like you have no. I mean, it's so many. And you know what? I just want to answer a question. TC asked, "Is it possible to be bisexual as a lesbian?" I'm not talking about do you think it's possible to be bisexual?
For me, to be honest, when I think of bisexual, I equate it to pansexual because ultimately, you don't care about the gender. You don't care about any of that. You just care about what's inside the person. So why can't we say that true bisexuals, are not pansexuals as well? Why
Not
can't we put them together? But hold on, let me finish real quick. My last point that I want to say, I do believe that there are true bisexuals out there. I do believe that. But one other thing that I highly believe that I mentioned in my video that I did this morning is that some people use bisexuality as a scapegoat. They are not really bisexual. They are really gay. But when you say that you are bisexual, when you are in the process of coming out to your family, coming out to your church, coming out to your children, a lot of the times using the term bisexual means that you have people halfway disappointed in you. The church is only halfway disappointed. Your family is only halfway disappointed. Your kids are only halfway disappointed because there is still a 50% chance of hope that you might live a heterosexual lifestyle. And I know a lot of people personally in my life, friends who live as bisexual when they really are not, but it's just to keep down confusion and to keep down judgment.
But let me say
Okay.
this. Let me
What
say
about
this right
you,
quick.
Rye?
Well, I want to say this right quick. Now, gender fluid. Okay, like pansexual is nasty. Pansexual are the people that will have sex with animals, are the people that will have sex with children. They will have sex with a tree. They will have sex.
That I don't agree with. I
No,
don't.
seriously, seriously, Peter Pan. Like we don't understand the definition of pansexual, and like that's one of the reasons and one of the things that like I really don't want to accept because of the simple fact that when they say that we're trying to we're trying to move pedophilia in to the community under that P, that's what they mean because you have to look at the deep definition of pan and pansexual. Now, when you say gender fluid are people, like bisexuals or bisexuals that will have, that or queer or questioning that will have, or a metrosexual, that would like, sort of have sex with doesn't have like a preference or whatever I would say. But I think that everybody has some sort of preference. I think that everybody has some sort of preference. Let me just put it that way.
Well,
Everybody has
let me just tell
the
you what I think
definition of
about
it.
being bisexual. Bisexual to me, because I have been in relationships, sexual relationships with men and women, and I've just been attracted to who I'm attracted to. And if I'm attracted to a man, I'm attracted to their features, their conversation, the way they make me feel when they touch me, all of that. When I'm attracted to the woman, I'm attracted to her looks, the way she touched me, her conversation, all that ties into one. But what I don't do, because I have dealt with both, I've dealt with men and women. What I don't do is mix. If I'm dealing with a man, I'm not messing with a woman. I think it's nasty. And if I'm messing with a woman, I'm not dealing with a man. But I can't say, I can say now at this age, but when I was younger, I couldn't pick and choose because if I was attracted to you, I was attracted to you. And you
yeah,
could have been a man or you could have been a woman.
yeah, like TC is saying, see, like we don't understand the true definition of pan, and they don't really put it out there for that specific reason. Pan is like, would include animals. It's like it came from the Greeks, and it is perverted. Now like gender fluid are people who like, and we don't want that pan stuff because pan will even have sex with children. you know
Yeah,
uh
I ain't with all that. No,
yeah.
I've never heard
none of that.
pansexual even be described that way, which is one of the things that I like about the panel.
Etymology, you have to go deep into the etymology. They're trying to slide it in. They're trying to slide it in and make it normal. And no, like no, 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 no,
Well,
no.
no. What I'm saying is, I don't agree with any of those things that you're saying, but what I'm saying is, it does show the generation gap to a certain degree because I have several friends who don't delve in pedophilia or bestiality or none of that, but they consider themselves pansexuals because they deal with the person within inside, adult people within inside, the
But see,
person
that's
within
not
inside, not the gender.
that's not the true definition. See, that we have to look at the etymology of words, and we have to break down the pan. Like the pan has a specific Greek meaning, and so when they're claiming that, they don't know that they're also claiming that, because this is not new. None of this stuff is new. It's very old, and it goes way back into the Greeks. And see, the pan deals with bestiality. Bestiality on the real. You have to break down that definition of pan, just like Pan African, just like Pan. Pan has a specific pan Hellenic. It has a specific definition, and we have never like really entertained or known what that means, but it's not a good thing, period.
Well, I'm glad I know that, and I don't. We're not. I'm not talking about pen.
Right, yeah.
I'm talking
And
about
I mean, I only mentioned that because we were talking about what I thought about bisexuality. But again, I don't look at that as bestiality or anything like that. So any bisexuals, please don't be offended, because I don't believe in that definition when I said pansexual. I don't
Right.
believe in it whatsoever.
Right. We don't like we have enough issues as it is. You know what I'm saying? So we do not, definitely do not, want them tagging along, the real fans tagging along with us,
no, hell no.
But we can get back to basically our commentary about the gentleman's panel and what they were saying. I think BB had a point to make, but I'm not sure. And y'all like the video. Like the video while y'all up in here engaging in the conversation. Ask questions in the chat if you feel the need to ask a question.
I mean, I thought it was interesting that someone on the panel said that lesbians, women nag. That was funny.
Yeah, I got the notes.
I mean, I don't know.
I have the notes. Y'all want me to break it down just like they did so we can go through?
Please do, and then we can talk about it, because I don't want to say,
I don't want to miss.
this.
I don't want to miss nothing. Okay, so let me start with because I got them. Okay. When it came, they said, okay, so James started it out, Spiller Boy, and he was like, we're gonna go through the LGBTQ definition. So he started with lesbians, and so QB said when he thinks of lesbians, he thinks of lesbian studs and lipstick. So what do we think about that?
I can agree with that, because at that particular point, he's thinking about lesbians, but the different gender roles that come about.
What about you, BB?
I can't hear you. You're cutting up.
Okay, QB said when he thinks of lesbians, it's lesbian studs and lipsticks.
Lesbians, studs, and lipsticks.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of shallow.
Yeah.
Because I think we're deeper than that.
Yeah, we have.
But that was his opinion. That was his opinion.
And it was good. Yeah, I think. I mean, I have no problem with what he said. There are more categories, but
not at all.
Right. And so Jay Wilson said, when he thinks of lesbians, he thinks of security, and he thinks that lipsticks are he said, y'all, he had to do the difference between the male and the female. He said lipsticks, y'all be talking about bisexual men, but these lesbians be bisexual. These lipsticks are just as bisexual as the man. So what's your take on what Jay Wilson said? What's your take on that?
That's ill. He's ill-informed, because that's not lesbians at all. Lesbians, true lesbians, it's a partnership. We love each other. We are more than just trying to play the role of a man and a woman. No, we love everything about each other. We love each other's looks, the shapes of our bodies. We love our conversation. We love everything. Our mental. We can sit up all night and talk about everything all night, and then have sex, or we can just chill and watch movies. We're more than just playing a role. It's more than that. Way more than that. It's not. I can tell you this. To me, the difference between lesbian women and gay men to me are more sexual.
Well, men.
Yeah. So it's like it's
well,
sex.
but I have
to say it's all about sex, but it's more sexual. Lesbian women, yeah, it's about sex, but you gotta, period, with women, you have to intrigue our minds before you can get to our panties anyway. That's how I look at it. It's got to be something else. To me, I'ma just say for me, it's not just about you saying you look good and I'm turned on. You gotta have sex with my mind first.
Well, and what I will say as far as what he said, if I'm not mistaken, he was comparing lipstick lesbians to bisexuals. Because he said lipstick lesbians have babies, lipstick lesbians done been married before, lipstick lesbians done been divorced, lipstick lesbians, all of this. He didn't say lesbians, he said lipstick, which I think
So and
that
so
he
what I'm
was
saying,
feminine.
what you're getting at, what if I'm not mistaken, what he's saying, lipstick lesbians are those who do uh do everything else and then settle with lesbian.
I do think that his interpretation was very ill informed. It
Yeah.
wasn't accurate whatsoever, but I think that he was equating a very feminine woman as being a woman who is a divorcee with all of these kids, who had a failed marriage, who had this, that, and the third, and now they're gonna be with a woman.
Right, because they want to be treated better because they felt like the men done felt them. Like I can't deal with men no more. They do this, they do the most. So I'm gonna deal with a woman because they understand me. We women, so they're gonna treat me better.
And I mean, but the thing that I disagree with is him generalizing. However, I have encountered on several occasions women who do this. One of my good friends back home had several different failed heterosexual relationships,
Yeah.
bad relationships, and she said, "I'm done with men.
I'm
I'm
done with
going
men.
to
I'm
women."
with women.
She did it. She
Okay.
did it.
Okay, I think that what Jay Wilson said was very derogatory, first of all, by saying security. Okay, let's put that out there. Okay, and I think that that was lesbian bashing. Okay, now they cry when people make statements about gay men, but this is what I've been saying the whole time. They will make derogatory statements about lesbians and themselves. They were and and it float and they try to normalize it to the community, like it's okay. They never speak up for us when we're bashed. However, we're supposed to always speak up for them when they're bashed, and generally we do.
We
Okay,
do.
yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. We
But that
still coddle the man. Women
yeah,
still coddle the man. We still, pick them up when they're down. Like I hear some of them talk about, oh, don't mess with her. You messing with the purse. Like you still looking for the woman to take care of you on a certain level. You understand?
mhm,
Like, what is
protect
that?
you, protect you. But and also, okay, and also it's just like, so that was stereotyping and generalizing, because not every lesbian is a stereo. But we gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that point later. But lipsticks. Now, when you say lipstick lesbians, yeah, they're DL. Generally, lipsticks are women who are married, women who are married that like mess around, like with women on the side. It's like they don't settle with the woman. They just
Right.
live with
They
women.
have fun with them. They're
Yeah, they
fun
have fun. They
toys.
don't take women seriously.
Okay. That's not a lesbian to me.
Nah, that's not a
That's
lesbian.
not a lesbian. That's somebody that's a toy.
A
That's a
queer,
bi-curious. That's
a
like,
queer.
seriously, that's not even that. I don't consider those type of women lesbians. And we have a lot of those. Like women really, a lot of women, they won't say it, but they really want to know what it feels like to be with another woman. And doesn't mean that after they be with them, they're going to consider themselves lesbian. They just want that experience. And some of them be like, hey, I like this shit. This is the way I'm going. And some of them be like, nah, I ain't with that. Like,
And then
like
some
I
people
said,
are
just
afraid.
that,
Just like with bisexual, some people are afraid to be who they are. They're like more, worried about society. They have I'm low self, they're afraid to be whomever so they'll rather sneak around the back door, look normal in the public, and sneak around the back door.
yeah. Yeah. And it's still like to this day, even though the conversation is out there, it's so much support for it now, way back then, way more than it was back then. You still have men that are ashamed and do not and still want to keep it hidden. They do not want to come out to who
Well,
they
you
are.
have
And I
women
believe
too. You have a lot of DL or lipstick women as well.
women that do it too. You're right. You're right. And I don't know, to each his own. If you're not comfortable with it, you're not comfortable with it. The only thing I suggest is that you don't play with people's feelings. You
Be
do
honest.
not get into relationships with women if you're with a real lesbian woman, if that's not where you're at. You cannot you can't expect a lesbian woman to want to sneak around with you. You don't play with no one like that. And that could go for men and women. It's just not right,
And I
you know.
actually agree with that. And that's one of the things that I like early on. Like the reason why I was able to come out at 14 years old is because I knew about these things. I grew up in the church, and I mean, of course, I think we all probably have, but I grew up in the church. And the last thing that I wanted was to possibly force myself into a situation that I knew that my heart didn't want to be in. Because when
Mhm.
you do that, you end up messing with that person's life. You know, if I had forced myself with a man, I'm messing up his life. If we happen to bring kids in the world, I'm messing up their lives because I'm not living in my truth. And I always remember that. My grandma used to always tell me that you could lie to the whole world, but you can't lie to the Lord. And that's
That's
what
right.
made me just be like, okay, I'm 14 years old and my family don't even want none of this. But I got to be honest because I can't lie to the Lord about this. And ultimately, I feel like I didn't end up hurting anybody. I didn't bring kids into the world, that could be hurt. And I think that's very important as far as people living truthfully for who they are.
Yeah, and let me say this. That shows you how ignorant a lot of the pastors and all of these people are to true biology. Because if they actually knew true biology, they would know that for the first 50 days while you're in a woman's womb, everybody is female. They would know about parthenogenesis, where there was one time when there was nothing but women on the earth, and women didn't need men to produce women. They would know. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want. I try to say their little ego, but to say their egos or whatever. But it's just like this. So at the end of the day, when you look at it from a true biological standpoint, and the fact that we're both X and Y chromosomes, we're both masculine and feminine energy, then that means at the end of the day, we're all bisexual. I mean, well, at the end of the day, there's only one true sexuality, one true full sexuality. But at the end of the day, we're all bisexual by nature. So, you can't say a person can't be natural. So that just shows their ignorance to biology.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that
Yes.
is not wrong under God or under nature to be LGBTQ. Yeah, I mean to be, LGBTQ is normal. It's what we're supposed to. Because just like if you look at animals, a lot of times I've seen plenty of male dogs hump other male dogs. I've seen plenty of female dogs hump other female dogs. Because it's natural.
Yeah. But we just been taught for so long a certain way, and it's hard to get people, especially at this age and time. It's hard. It will be very difficult to get people on that page because it's
Now, not if they
instilled
come
in
out
our.
with the truth.
What
Not if they
happened?
come out. Not if they start teaching not if they actually start teaching the truth and putting the truth in the textbooks like they need to. They limit
But
our
they're not going to do that, QI. They're not going to do
well,
that.
not as long as it's a see that goes with patriarchy, and that goes with toxic masculinity, because there's a difference between regular masculinity and toxic masculinity, and we'll get to a little bit of that later as well. But the next one was L Teddy. L Teddy said that when he thinks of lesbians, he thinks of boxing gloves and scissoring.
Now I like the whole counter, y'all. I like all of them on there.
They are
I ain't gonna lie though,
crazy.
I laughed at what Teddy said. I
Boxing
laughed.
gloves and scissoring. Damn.
Oh.
They got a personality that's out of this world. I ain't even gonna lie. And,
Yeah,
but he is very knowledgeable too, so you can always have respect for him.
not on that,
he said something.
but not on that topic because he was stereotyping once again, and that
Right.
was very derogatory, and that was lesbian bashing. Because not all, and I like El Teddy, and if I was sitting in front of him, I would tell him the same thing. Just like the other day, he was shading on my dildos, strap-ons, and I told my aunt, you done already shaded on that. But then let me go back, okay? Because not all lesbians believe in fighting. Now, a lot of times when you
I
go,
don't feel bashed by that though. I really don't. So I guess it depends on your perspective.
no,
Because I don't feel bashed. I don't feel like it was lesbian bashing. I feel like it was humor.
well, no, it wasn't because it's a stereotype that goes around. Just like a lot of times, a lot of gay men say we're U-Haul lesbians, and and it's not like that. In fact, I'm one. Even if we've been together a long time, and in most of my relationships, I've kept a separate. I might be at their house all the time, but I always have my own. Or they might be at my house all the time, but they always have their own. So, we don't instantly it ain't no instant move in thing. That's putting us in a box and stereotyping. And not all, lesbian women believe in fighting. In
No.
I guess
And
for
I'm one
me,
lesbian that don't believe in, well, I will argue, but to put your hands up, then it's time for us to break up because I'm not physically fighting no one. And
right.
I'm one
I
of
agree
the
with that.
rare ones
I
who
agree with
don't,
that.
I don't deal with dildos either. Those to me are for my jewelry.
For me, I agree with what
I'll
you
stick
just
that shit
said.
on the dresser and put my fucking bracelets on top of it. I'm not into it. So it's like, everybody is different.
I
Now,
agree with what you just said, BB. But for me, I didn't take offense to what he said simply because
No.
then I don't know. I really don't know if it's like the different, and I keep saying not really generation, but just the different times that we
you can
came.
go ahead and say generation because it is, but don't you get mad now. Don't you get mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a generational thing. You can say it,
Well,
but
no, I'm not going to get mad. But what I'm saying is stuff like that I don't take seriously.
Give
Simply
me one
because,
second, y'all.
okay, I don't take stuff like that seriously, and I could laugh at that because I could easily throw shade at my gay guy friend. So if he say we boxing and scissoring all day long, I could easily say that you carry a purse. I can't think of nothing off the fly or whatever. But like you have, for me, I think that the gay community is so small and we have so many different stereotypes that we could banter back and forth. I've made jokes about the U-Haul lesbian stereotype plenty of times.
but it's different. It's different if we're talking amongst each other, like we do at the club, or like we do when we hanging around each other. But when you're speaking to when you're educating and you're speaking to a population of different types of people who don't understand, that's not the thing to say because we don't need the general population thinking or putting this stereotype on us that we have verbal, emotional, or physically abusive characteristics because we don't. Because at the end of the day, that's just like we're animals and we don't know how to communicate. There are some people who actually, like, I don't believe in arguing. Like, if I get too mad, that's why I keep my own house because I'm
Right.
gonna take my butt to the house because I think sometimes when you get too mad and you get too upset, you might say things that you really don't mean or say them in a manner that you don't mean to say it. So I like to calm down and be able to communicate properly about different things. And then, and we know how to communicate. We don't always fight. Like we don't always fight. I'm saying every lesbian doesn't fit in the box and like to fight. That's
I think that's more so of a joke about women. And I know the question was targeted to lesbians, but women are lesbians. And I honestly took it as shade and a dig toward women because ultimately in a lesbian relationship, 2 times out of the month, somebody gonna be PMSing and mad about something. 2 times out of the month. Sometimes if you get lucky, you sync up with the person that you with so that y'all both on at the same time. But for the most part, 2 times out of the month, somebody gonna be on, somebody gonna be
But I think
a
he was
little.
right to a certain degree with my situation because me and my girlfriend always argue. We always fight.
Right.
And that's the truth.
It's
We,
the
I mean, don't get
emotions,
into
it's
a
the
fist
hormones.
fight, but we are always cat
But
fighting
not
about this shit.
everybody. That's you and
But he didn't say everybody.
No,
He
he didn't
said
say
that's what
everybody.
he said that's what came to mind when he thought about lesbians.
your.
He
Okay,
Because and it's
said,
just his opinion though. Because we have opinions about gay men. I know I do, and it's not to say all gay men, but me, just from the experiences of my brothers, his friends, my best friends that are gay, and what comes to mind is messy. They're messy as shit. But that's my opinion. And some of them might take offense to that. You understand what I'm
no,
saying? So
right, but
everybody can just have their own,
I'm saying, but I'm just being honest. It's not. I like El Teddy. I like El Teddy. But I'm saying that it was derogatory. It was a stereotype that everyone does not fit.
Okay.
Every lesbian does not fight. Every
Right.
lesbian does not fight over a woman. Every lesbian, does not argue. We're all individuals. We're all individuals because technically I can say the same. I've seen just as many guys fight in the club and guys fight as I have women. So, just don't
That's
put it
true.
out on
I've
us.
seen that too.
but that is true. But the
That's
gag
true.
is them guys don't have PMS every month. That's the gag. The gag is they don't see that mess 12 times in the course of the year, and between two of them is 24 times in the course of a year.
They do have periods. Guys are females. They have periods. They just don't bleed. Look it up. They have menstruals every month. They just don't bleed.
Okay, wait, and okay, I'll look
I don't
that
know
up.
about
But
all
I
that.
want to answer this question that I put up for TC. So TC said, "What is the U-Haul lesbian?" The running joke is that lesbians might could be together for 2 weeks and then they ready to get the U-Haul, get a whole apartment together. We about to move in together. We about to build a whole family, a whole
Because
household within
because
two
at the
weeks.
end of the day, we are women, and women are emotional, and we go full throttle, and men deal with facts. It's truly a fact. Men deal with facts, women deal with emotions, and emotionally we can be attached in a couple of days, two
Well,
to three
and
days. We love each other, we just can't get enough of each other. It
but
happens quickly like that,
not
especially when it's
everybody.
two women.
Not everybody, not everybody does that. Then the older you get, the more you gain
Of
wisdom.
course, the older you get, the more you be like, all right, Heifer, what's your problems? Because I know you got a load of them. You
Because
ain't
you
get
know,
two
But
picking.
I think that goes across the board. That's just not to women. The older we get, the more we ain't U-Haul lesbians. Even straight people, the older they get, the more that they gonna calm down and not try to get engaged or not get a baby and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's something that's universal. The older you get, the more knowledge you have learned from life experience to where you're not gonna make the same mistake that you made once before.
it's not true. We're not the only U-Hauls out here. And not every lesbian is a U-Haul.
Well, look, I ain't never lived with nobody before a day in my life. Never. And I done been out since I was
See,
14.
there you
Never
go.
U-Haul. But
See, there you
sometimes
go.
Well, I'm a
it's
you. Well, if that's what you want to
fluttering
call it,
so
I'm a
hard where you
U-Haul
just like,
because me
okay.
and my boo live together, and we can't live
No,
without each other. So
no,
if
you didn't
that's what
move.
you want to
But
call it, then that's what
y'all
it
didn't
is.
move in after 2 weeks, though. Now,
I don't
No,
think
no, we
anybody
didn't move
should.
in after no
That's the
2 weeks.
joke, though. That after
Yeah,
two,
okay, I
two
got
weeks,
you. But
that
it was
after 2 weeks,
fast
people
though.
do this.
I mean,
I don't think that people do this in real life. Just move in after 2 weeks. But I do feel like emotions are high, tension is high, the connection and the chemistry is high, and so people are just they can't get enough of each other. Like I want to come home to you every day, all day. Like
yeah.
I need to come home to you and tell you about my day. And sometimes that'll make people just move faster than what they should.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what that U-Haul means, not necessarily to actually physically move in, but moving faster than what you should because you're running high on emotion as a woman.
but at the
Okay.
same time, that's still not true. That's just that's the stereotype. Okay, so let me go to now. I love James' answer.
Sarah.
He said
I'm,
that when he thought of lesbians, James said that when he thought of lesbians, he thought of sisters to the groups and organizers, because most lesbians, just like they founded Black lesbians founded Black Lives Matter, lesbians are at the forefront of most activism and starting organizations. Lesbians sort of started the LGBTQ along with a lot of the committees and different movements. So what do y'all think about
Okay.
that?
I agree with that actually. And when he said that, it just made me think of me as a child. Because even in grade school and elementary school, I knew that I was different. I knew that I was gay. I knew I was a lesbian. But my gaydar was so strong to where I could see the little boy who was being, pushed or whatever because he didn't want to play football, but he wanted to swing on the swings with us. To the point to where I felt like it was my duty. Okay, you about to push him because he want to swing on the swing. Where I'm running into a little boy's face, ready to fight him and get suspended from school trying to take up. And I feel like that was me being a sister to this gay brother, even though we were kids and didn't even know where our lives would really take us once we became adolescents, once we became adults. But I felt like I was a protector to him because I knew something was different with the both of us, and I didn't like how he was being treated. So I believe that to a certain degree.
Um, Go ahead, BB.
No, I don't have anything to say on that.
Okay. So the next one was gay, and let me just say this before I go into what I was saying. First of all, a lot of people are uneducated to the fact that when lesbians are women and gay are men. Women can't be gay and men can't be lesbian. Okay, so let's get that straight, because a lot of people, when they say gay, they'll call a lesbian a gay, and we're not
Yeah.
gay. Gay only refers to men, just like
Right.
lesbian only refers to women. So it's a difference, it's a difference, because I've heard people say stuff about women being gay. We're not gay. That's men. Okay,
Yeah.
but let's go with the gay. Okay, so QB said he said gay is L. He said free spirited, happy, and being self. Which I
Gay is L. What do you
gay
mean?
is hell. I don't want,
Gay is hell.
yeah.
I just think gay is just being in touch with your sexuality and who you're attracted to and going for it. Whether and that's gay to me. Just being attracted to the same sex and going for it. Like going with your emotions, going with your whatever you feeling inside and taking it wherever it leads. That's gay to me. And being proud in it. That is gay. Not being ashamed, not just being who you are as an individual. That's
Uh,
my opinion on it.
well, but couldn't they have said the? I mean, like, I love QB's answer. Yes, I do. But at the same time, that's the same. You can say the same thing about women. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about what QB said. Because QB gave a good answer when it came down to lesbians. But likewise, lesbians are free spirited, happy beings.
Yeah.
So
They
it's
happy.
yeah. So I mean, I like what he said, but I'm just saying it could be either way.
Sorry, I was responding to something in the chat. Repeat the question, please, because I don't even have it.
Now I'm saying QB. He said when he thought about gay, he thought about free spirited, happy being himself.
Oh no, I agree with that
That
100%.
is it. That's
Yeah,
it.
Mhm.
Free spirited, yeah.
and
That's
men.
gay.
When he forgot to say a man that is free spirited, happy, and being self, because like a lot. That's why a lot of people don't know the difference between gay and lesbian. So like when I think of gay, or a man. That's a man who likes other men. First of all, that's what it is. A man. I'm a man who is attractive and dates
I
and,
think maybe
and loves
because
another.
that was like the first word that people got used to when they thought about queer people, when they thought about people being attracted to the same sex. That was the first word a lot of people learned, was just gay. They didn't
Mhm.
learn transgender, lesbian. They didn't learn all of that. They did, the first thing was you must be gay. Oh, get your gay ass out of here.
Right.
That term has just been out for so long, and everybody just gravitated to it.
Gay is referring to a male,
I
and
know that. I
yeah,
understand
no,
that, but
I was looking at what J.Dunn.
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
gay is referring to a male, and lesbian is referring to a female. That's why it's LG.
Right.
So
Hold on. You were looking at what? I was talking about my gay male friend because TC asked me if the little boy that I protected in elementary school ever protect me back. And I said once we got to high school, a lot of my gay male friends actually did end up coming to my defense when I had something going on because of my own sexuality in high school. Because by that point, girls are feeling themselves trying to be with dudes, feel like everybody want them, even when you don't want them. Now, we was friends 3 years ago, but now that I'm actually living in my own truth, now you want to act like I'm hitting on you. And then my gay male friends that I rescued on the seesaw or on the swing at the playground, they had to come through and snap, snap, snap at somebody because now you want to tell the whole cafeteria that I want you and I don't.
okay. So L Teddy said when he thought about gay, he thought of the mouthpiece of the sector, the most vocal. Now he got saved a little bit when he said, even though the lesbians are the activists, he said that the gays are and so he did define the difference between lesbian and gay. And he said that the gays are most vocal. I think I would have to agree. They're more vocal, but I don't think that they're more vocal outwardly. But I don't think that. I think it also has to do with the patriarchy, misogynistic, and like the fact that a lot of people have you know
Y'all keep talking. I gotta go.
been taught that like in church women should be silent, and I think it's like we like it doesn't matter. It's like we hold on to that religion or that Christianity, and a lot of people have a hard time getting rid of those concepts and those thoughts, even though
Yep.
they're in the lifestyle.
You're right.
Some people who are in the lifestyle still feel like they're doing something wrong. And like my mama said, don't do nothing that you're gonna be ashamed of. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
like I have to think long and hard, before I just actually like decide to declare myself a lesbian because of the simple fact that my mom said that. But it's like this: they have shame, and once again, it's because of like the indoctrinations that goes on in the church, uh,
Right.
and because those pastors and things are ignorant to true genetics and true biology of human beings. But
No,
go.
they're hypocrites.
Hmm.
They are hypocrites.
All right.
No, they're not. They are hypocrites because behind closed doors, they know exactly who they are. Behind closed doors, they demonstrate who they are very fluently. They are hypocrites.
I agree. Liars, scammers, con artists.
It's
Oh my.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But
Okay.
overall, I do respect the gentleman's panel,
Oh
and
yeah.
I honestly would appreciate if we could all get together sometimes. It don't have to be the same faces, but we are the ones that's out here representing who we are.
It will show
So I would
you.
like an open dialogue for both, because what I don't see is the LGBTQ community as a whole being one. We're still divided.
Well, and then it would make for, I think it would have to be a 5-part series pretty much, but it would show that we're at least trying to unify, and then it would also give people, like, we will all be able to respond at the same time, instead of like us doing it over here after we heard that,
Right.
and them doing it over there. It would give everybody in the audience the broader perspective all at once, and it would show
Yeah.
like that we are trying to form some type of unity,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially with us already doing it and them already doing it. It would be good
Because
if
I
we
think
could
it's
show
fantastic,
that.
period,
lack
for
of
the sector,
attention.
for everything. I think it's fantastic that they're doing it and we're doing it because
Mhm.
we are enlightening people who are not that educated on it. The church folk who think, they think very matronly about it. It's education to everyone because it is still our lives that we are living every day, and we're no different than anyone else. What
And
we choose to do in our bedroom is just what we choose to do in our bedroom. That's the
and
only
then
thing that separates us,
and they can't speak for us, meaning that they're not all knowledgeable about the lesbian lifestyle, just like we're not all knowledgeable about the gay lifestyle because we have
Right, absolutely.
and they have
Absolutely.
not lived ours, so they can't speak. And a lot of times they do try to speak, for us, and they're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. 100%.
No, I
I
don't
did
think
want
that.
to. I did want to go. I did want to stare the little pot. I didn't want to really talk about the gentleman's panel too much. I kind of wanted to get into the L word, the lesbians more, not to educate, but to kind of like make it a little fun, tell little stories, experiences. But I don't know if that's too deep for everybody. And I had like, this is my second cup of wine, so I'm feeling really friendly tonight.
Woo,
Like,
woo, woo. I,
Well, I think that could be something that could be revisited at some time. I didn't want to go too long. We could kind of wrap it up because DC is live now, so we don't want to be live while she live. Hold on.
okay, I'm with that.
Oh no, it says. Oh, TC said, "What is INA in the LGBTQIA?"
okay. I is intersex. And intersex is someone who has DSD, disorder of sexual development, meaning a hermaphrodite, in which we're not supposed to use the one with both sexes. We're not supposed to use the hermaphrodite term anymore because it's derogatory. And that's sort of where dyke came from and all that kind of stuff. But it's people who are born with both sexual sexes, and it's DSD, disorder of sexual development, the I. Okay, now intersex. Okay, now the A is asexual. And asexual is just like women were born parthenogenesis, um, parthenogenesis, and which is sort of crazy. Asexual. Let me look up the.
Asexuals don't need to be, they're not sexually attracted to anyone. They don't need any type of sexual relationship, sexual connection, anything like that. They don't look at anybody to feel any type of lust, any type of sexual feeling,
So why are
anything.
they grouped in with the lesbians and gays? Like, what is that?
Mhm.
Why can't they just be individuals? Like, why do they have to have like? Why do everybody have to have a daggone a name?
And then
Like,
why don't they
why?
put, if that's the case, why don't they go and throw H in there so we won't feel like we weird? Throw H in there, then you could throw the P in there. Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me just read something TC just said. My story is films. Stop thinking studs are required to take care of their children during holidays and birthdays. Lord,
Because they
what
got
is that?
daddy. Because they got daddies.
To me,
Yeah.
that could be a straight or a lesbian. That's a raggedy old heifer right there. Like there is like they're on every side of the spectrum. Like who is doing that? I don't know. I don't know. I've never.
No,
I've never.
that's another stereotype that goes around. It's like that studs take care of the women. And because that studs want to be men, studs take care of the women. But technically, if they be honest with themselves these days, most men are not taking care of women. Most women are taking care of men. So let's be realistic here. Okay, then most women are taking care of men. Okay, now, okay, like, but just like in that case with the children or whatever, like I've been in relationships with women with children. And so like if what I choose to do is what I choose to do. I just don't want it, I don't
Absolutely.
want nobody to feel like it's an obligation. You know,
Absolutely. You're not
that's what I'm
obligated. They
saying.
are
What I
not your
choose to
children.
do, I
Whatever
choose
you
to
choose
do.
to
Just
do, that's an extra. That's a plus. It's something you want to do. It should not be mandatory because you're with that woman. No. You need to choose your sperm donors more wisely. That's my opinion.
And that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about one running joke that I had many years ago with one of my best friends out here who is currently transitioning. She's she is transitioning from female to male. But the running joke used to be because I was in my earlier days, I would date a woman with kids. Not because I had a bias, but because the one relationship that I did do when I was very, very young with a woman with a child, when we broke up, I had to not only remove myself from her, but also remove myself from that child. And I that child, I watched that child crawl in my first apartment. I watched that child take a first step in my first apartment. And so it was really hard to let go of that, which made me bitter. And I was like, I'm not dating any women with children. Either way, the running joke was if a woman expressed some type of interest in me, I would ask my friend, how many birthdays over there in that household? And I meant it. Because if you got kids, if you got three kids plus your birthday, that's 4 birthdays a year. I don't know if I could do 4 birthdays now. I don't know. And I'd be like, how many birthdays over there? And they knew what I meant when I said that. Because I
I get
can
it.
do 4 birthdays a year. Then Christmas is already a given. All of this mess. Oh no.
No, I get that. I get that. And that's
But
to
I
me,
like
that's
children.
like that
It
comes
don't
I
matter.
like
with
children, but I'm talking about as far as the financial obligation whenever you commit to that is my thought.
I mean, like, we were saying, it's like, okay, one thing that they have to realize is that you're not those children's biological father. Therefore, and their father's supposed to be taking care of them, because it don't matter if he in the house, he out of the house. It don't matter if you with a woman. If he got a problem with you being a woman, he's still obligated, because what you're doing is none of his business. So he's still obligated to take care of his children regardless. So,
Mhm.
like, what we choose to do is what we choose to do. Now, I'm about, like, I like children, and I like having the family sort of situation. And I've also been through that where, I had to cut ties, with, like, a lot of, like, children that I considered, my own. I just got, used, sort of used to it or whatever. But I don't know. I just look at when I'm attracted to someone, when I'm attracted to someone or whatever, it's like I go off of personality, I go off of characteristic, I go off of everything else. That other stuff, could be worked on. Like, it's other stuff that, could
Well,
be.
and I agree with that, but I'm talking about my earlier days.
CC
I've
is
outgrown
so
it.
funny.
And that's one thing. You always start off with a type until you get with your type, and that type is not your type. And then you have to kind of maneuver and find a new type. You get with that type is not your type. You touch and go, you feel and go, and you learn as you are making your way through life, as you are learning your own self, as you are learning how you are in a relationship. And eventually, it came to me that okay, if you got kids, you off limits. I outgrew that. But I will say, you know, 5 of them plus you, that's too many birthdays for me in one year. Because I still got my own birthday.
Now I think about, like, okay, now
That's
five
messed up.
children. Now you might not be lesbian. You know what I'm saying? 5 children. You know what I'm saying? 5 children. Not just two or three, but 5 children. You might not be a real lesbian. You might just be on here, for Christmas and Thanksgiving. But I
Five
want
children. She looking for a come up. Like
to
she looking for a come up.
by
She
any
like
means
she done ran
necessary.
dry with all the men's, but
By any means necessary. But I want to also, like, it's some questions in the
how
chat.
old? Wait a minute. TC is so funny, yo. I'm just looking at her questions and the things she's saying. She got me cracking up. But she like, how old should a child be before before they stop sleeping with their mama? Let me tell you a funny story. When I just had my son, It was just me and my son for 9 years before the other three came. They came out of nowhere. I don't know where the hell they came from, but it was just me and my son. And literally, my son was sleeping with me at 7 years old. And one time it slipped out because I was a counselor for after school program, and I was talking to another counselor, and it slipped out that my son still sleep with me. And he looked at me like, this big boy right here is still sleeping with you. And he called my son over. He said, you still sleeping with your mama? And my son was like, he a kid. He like, yeah. And he like, yo, after today is yesterday was the last day you slept with your mama. Tomorrow, I better not hear that you slept in the bed with your mother. You is too big to still be sleeping with your mother. That was the saddest news for me and my son that we ever heard that day. Cause I agree, but it was like a comfort because nobody else was sleeping in my bed and he was comfortable. We was comfortable doing that. So that night, that was the last night, honestly. And we literally was like saying goodbye to each other, like he was going to another damn state. Like, bye, Paris. Like, bye.
Matter son or daughter, like son or like it really doesn't matter, son or daughter though. But then at the same time, I'm gonna say like whenever they're old enough to start identifying, like body parts. I say about what at least about 3, 4. Like whenever they're old enough to start identifying, body parts and different things of that nature.
I don't know. I don't know if my son. I'm not gonna say that he didn't know he had a dingaling, and I did. We didn't have that type of relationship. He was just that was my baby. Like I still looked at him as my baby, and I was comfortable with him sleeping with me. I really was. It wasn't like we was hugged up or nothing like that. But I didn't have nobody else in my bed, and he didn't. He's a mama. He was a mama's boy. And that man said, no, that doesn't happen. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like it wasn't, I didn't look at it like that. But, it is what it is. My daughters
for
to
me,
this day, they don't sleep with me, but they all get in the bed with me. All my kids love getting in the bed with me. They're comfortable that way. They feel all over my arms and stuff, but nobody sleeps with me. Like they
Yeah,
all
I
go
don't
into their
sleep.
own little.
I'll go lay in the bed with my grandma, but I don't sleep
Yeah.
with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she don't. Yeah,
I do that
I
with my
wanted to
mom.
sleep
I
with
don't
my
sleep with her.
mother when I was little. I used to be so upset when she used to wake me up to go sleep in my own bed. I really used to get upset because I was comfortable, like up under that nest. I was comfortable like that. So I guess it's to each his own. But I get it. You shouldn't. You
and
know.
my thing I want to say, this is a judgment-free zone over here.
Wait a minute. Hold up. TC said, "Why do I need someone in my bed?" No, that wasn't the thing. It was just me and my son. And my son was just comfortable in bed with me. And I was comfortable with my son in bed. I didn't need no one in my bed because truth be told, my son, it was split. We had joint custody. So he was with his father half the week and he was with me half the week. So it wasn't that I needed someone in my bed. We was just comfortable that way. Like, I'm a hugger. I'm a very affectionate person. And I'm just like that. It doesn't, I don't need no one in my bed, but that's my son. So
And I
to
mean,
each his own.
to be honest, it's really, there is no judgment for me with that, because I could even throw one big one out there. And I guess, okay, so we're gonna judge it if it's just an everyday occurrence between a mother and her young son. But like, and I talk about this, but even with Katrina, my bedroom during Katrina was actually on a side of my home that had been built. Like the garage had been closed in and it was built for a room for me on this side. Well, when the trees started falling up in the ceiling, guess who came and got me out of my room? My mother. And I was a teenager at this point. And her boyfriend stayed with us. He got out the bed and slept in the recliner, and me and my mother were in the bed.
I can understand that definitely. And then
Yeah.
like in cases of company and stuff like that, like I'm not gonna like when we're looking at like I might in cases of company, like if we like going to your aunt's house or something like that as a family and stuff, because you know, in my family we don't believe in hotels, you know, if you family. So, you know, like we might couple, you know, like me and my aunt might sleep in the same bed or whatever. But I mean, we generally don't let the boys or the men sleep, you know, we don't mix the genders or whatever.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I wanted to address something real quick before we close out
Yeah.
that bothered me a little bit. Bless Watkins on the TSCC Mess Express said that lesbians are women who have never been with a man. I wanted to correct it. Not true, because just like, and you know, no shade or no up, you know, this is an educational moment. Not true, because you don't know that you're, everybody doesn't automatically know, especially with society and the shaming from churches and different things like that. Everybody doesn't automatically know, or some people try to, like me, I tried to be straight. You know, I tried to be straight because, you know, I was taught that that was what the only way to be or whatever, you know, but not every people go through a discovery process. So, you know, a lot of times there are like, if initially a lot of people, they would try their hand at, you know, like a lesbian would try their hand at a, you know, a man or a few relationships with a man before they find out or before they discover that they're really more attracted to women. So that's not, you know, that's not a true that's not a true thing. And somebody run that back or run it to anybody who might say, you know, think that, that's the same thing with gay men. Gay men, it's a process. They might start off, some of them get married. Some of them get married, and like we said, and then they come out the closet or whatever. You know, so it's like that's not, it's not true. You know, a lot of times people have to discover who they are. That, they have to try it. They have to, just see before they could just say, like, I'm this or I'm that.
Some people are brought up that way, that you are supposed to, like, the main thing I hear that's normal today, well, not today, but back then, is you get old, you meet a man, you get married, you have children. That is what is ingrained into to your head as while you're young, as you're growing up, and you think that that's the way it's supposed to be. And then because you're having these other feelings for the same sex, you think you're wrong. Like, I shouldn't be doing that because everybody else, church, my mother, everybody say I should be doing this. So why am I doing that? Why am I feeling that?
You go
And
through
these
a lot
are
of
things,
confusion.
yeah, and these are feelings that one can't, you can control them, but you can't help them. Like, if it's in you, it's in you.
Just like,
If it's not, it's not.
just like
I
we
mean,
saw,
you can choose to act on them. That's your choice if you want to act on them, but
like.
it don't go away.
It's like, that church shaming, that religion shaming really does a number on people's heads. It's very abusive because, like, just like it's still some people that I've seen that, are still they're out, they're sexually, they're same gender active, like in relationships and everything, but in their head you can tell they still think it's wrong. And
It's
so why
wrong.
are you
Yeah.
doing something you think is wrong? And like I said, it goes back to ignorance and that church shaming and things like that. And they'll even tell you. I've heard people in the LGBT BT community tell me it's wrong, and I'm like, what, what, what?
Do you know that God already, it was written, he already knew who you were going to be. He already know what you're going to do. Like, you're
Well,
not hiding from anyone. KB Johnson, I sent you my email on my page. Just want to let you know that.
and then, like, another thing, this goes back to like the church, the misogyny, and everything. Why do we keep thinking that God is a man?
And you're right. You're right about that. You're right, because this is what we're taught. These are all the pictures we got all over the walls. He's this white man with this beautiful
Brainwashing
hair.
and
Like,
indoctrination. Because
And one thing that I want to just add, I'm trying to give KB the email right now. But one thing that I do want to add, just based to piggyback on that question that you asked, I have one cousin, and she actually just turned 23 on Sunday. Wait, no, a week ago today, she turned 23 years old. Ever since she was a little toddler running around, she could not stand the smell of bubble gum. Pink bubble gum, couldn't stand it. From a toddler, from a little baby. If you came in her face talking, trying to kiss on her with bubble gum, she really did regurgitate.
Mm.
So in that theory, you mean to tell me that knowing that this was her natural reaction to anybody chewing pink bubblegum with that smell on their breath, talking in her face, trying to kiss in her face, if that was her natural reaction, then as she gets older, I'm supposed to say, well, how you know you don't like bubblegum? You never chewed it.
Well,
Because this is like, didn't you say that this was as far as the lady saying, well, how you know you gay if you never been with a man, or a lesbian ain't never been with a man? That's how come she gay. Maybe people already knew that man was like bubblegum. What they smell like bubblegum. I can't chew that.
Oh, there are some people who know. I mean, like there are some people who've never been with the opposite sex. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a person can't say that, like that person said that a lesbian was they thought that a lesbian was a person who has never slept with a man. That's not true.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wanted to add that 2 cents because that's what it made me think about. At the end of the day, people know what they like and what they can tolerate from the get-go. And as an outsider, you can't question or try to make somebody else question what they like and what they can tolerate.
Well, yeah, you're right. This is what I'm saying. People have got to learn, and this is where religion gets in the way of spirit you duality or spirit duality, because we all have a spirit, we all have an individual personality, all have our own individual characteristics, and so we should be able to have free will, as I thought we were supposed to have, and live our life according to who we are, instead of by trying to define ourselves by a societal standard, or some church religion standard. We should be able to be who we are. And I think that's why we a lot of times are not real successful at things, because of the simple fact that, like we're not allowed to be ourselves. And so we're not allowed to, discover our true talents, our true strengths, and our true inner beings. And I think that, people should raise their children like that. You should raise your children to, let them discover at a young age who they are. Let them discover what they like to do at a young age. And then therefore, when they get to an adult stage, they won't be so confused and complicated. It won't be so complicated.
I
I got
definitely
you.
agree with that, y'all. And we coming up to an hour and a half now. I'll definitely want to get over there and support DC a little bit before everybody
Absolutely.
call it a night. I guess I'll let everybody do the last statements. Thank you for all the new people that stopped in. Thank you for all the regulars who stopped in. Thank you for the comments, the likes, the shares, the subscribe. Thank you to QI for joining us. Thank you to the First Lady BB Nice for being here. Thank you for DC for being in the chat, even though she couldn't be here. I'm gonna let these two go ahead and say the closing, and then we'll be off of here, y'all.
Ladies first.
See, you just did it. We all ladies.
I
Okay.
know,
Why I gotta
you
go
know what I
first?
mean. You know what I mean.
Well, I'm just going to say thank you, everybody, for coming out. I enjoyed this conversation. I would love to have more. I think the more we know, the better we grow. And I just want us all to get together, men and the women, and just give our intakes and show how the LGBTQIAYZD, whatever, all the
No,
letters,
give me one piece.
how
So
we get down and how we communicate and who we are as people. TC, I love you, girl. You is the bomb, honey. You just came with it tonight. And thank everybody for real.
you already know, TC. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna continue like this conversation. I like the first of all, shout out to the gentlemen's panel. I know
Yeah, shout
Absolutely.
out to them, the panel.
shout out
Yes.
to the
Yes.
gentlemen's panel, and we're challenging you to bring us on so that we can have a well-rounded conversation and educate in a more balanced way. As well, I like to I like to say, I know I gave you like a hard time, but I was being honest, but it was in all love, because we need that honest truth. But at the same time, we're going to continue this conversation, because there's a lot of things that we didn't cover that we need to cover. But so we're going to continue this conversation for the people in the chat, and that we're going to continue this conversation, from period to period. And if y'all have any questions about anything, make sure y'all drop it in the comment sections or email us, because that's the reason why the L Word panel was created, was to educate people about the various different topics, issues, and things when it deals with lesbians. So I'd like to thank everyone who came out and supported, and see you next time. Peace, love, and hair grease.
Okay, and before I get off here, let me say this last thing, y'all, and then we out of here. We out of here. Miss V Town Hester gave me a super chat, y'all. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think that's where you came from. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the love. Oh, and TC just left a comment, but either way, y'all, we out of here.
Yes.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, get it, QI, sing it for me, now.
Go ahead, QI.
For doing that. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes.